Cardinal Oswald Gracias, Archbishop of Mumbai. Ordained as Archbishop of Bombay on October 2006, Oswald Gracias was elevated to the position of Cardinal in 2007. He was elected as the Vice President of the Conference of Catholic Bishops of India in 2008 and its President in 2010. He currently serves as the President of the Federation of Asian Bishops' Conferences and holds a doctorate in canon law from the Pontifical Urbaniana University, Rome. Cardinal Gracias is a member of the Council of Cardinal Advisors, established by Pope Francis, and had participated in the 2013 Papal Conclave. He is one among the members of the Congregation for Catholic Education since June 2012.
The youth is not only the future of the world, it's the present of the world. I experienced this so very forcefully in my own Archdiocese of Bombay, Mumbai city, where I meet with the youth regularly, the leaders of the youth, to discuss their aspirations, their questions, their needs, what are they looking for. And I realized that our greatest force, the greatest force in the world is our youth, because they're going to transform everything. And it's our responsibility, the senior generation, to help them to realize their ideals, to get their ideals focused, to clarify exactly what they want, and to see the steps that they've got to take to reach these ideals. The knowledge that they've got to have, the skills that they've got to acquire, the values that they've got to imbibe in themselves, the attitude to life, to people, to relationship. That's so very, very important for their success personally, the family, the community, and the world. I mean, they could transform India. Our Indian youth can transform India, and the Indian youth can transform the world, and the youth can transform the world. So it's so important for us to learn from each other. I think that today, when we've got so many different ideologies, philosophies, a certain amount of secularism is pervading all through. I see that in different parts of the world, much less in India than I see it elsewhere. And so therefore, a sense of the sacred, a sense of what does faith mean? Above all, who is Jesus to me? And I hope my aim, our aim really, that with these youth days, be the diocesan, national, continental, the Asian Youth Day, or the World Youth Day, is for the youth to meet Jesus. Meet Jesus in everything. Meet Jesus in your companions, meet Jesus in the messages you heard, meet Jesus in prayer, in the sacraments, in the priest, in the bishop. To have a personal encounter with Jesus. That's the purpose. And once you have a personal encounter with Jesus, then everything is in place. Your mind, your attitudes, your knowledge, your values, you have the answers to all the questions, because He has the answers to all the questions. And that's the purpose of the Asian Youth Day. Together, to come together, to be strengthened by each other, to help each other, to feel like a family, to live as family, to live in this family as family, and to see what is faith and who is Jesus, and to meet Jesus. Now, I do hope that we've been able to achieve this at this Asian Youth Day. I can sense there's great joy. There's acknowledgement of the challenges which we've left behind. Many have left behind and come over here. But we should not live in an unreal world. Those problems are going to, when you go back again, you've got to face those problems. And but you've got to go back as a different person. Meeting Jesus, you're always transformed. And that, I think, is the purpose of all the youth days. World Youth Day, Asian Youth Day, and the National Youth Day. I'm thinking of our own Indian culture. There is so great richness. There's a diversity of cultures in India itself, as is a diversity of cultures in Asia. I think the diversity of cultures is a richness. It can be a threat, it can be a richness. Now, it depends on how exactly you approach it. Not to be overwhelmed by culture, but to be able to get the gospel values in the culture so it's purified and it's at the service of people. Every culture has a richness, but over the century we might have acquired different elements which are not gospel values. And then you've got to therefore purify it a little bit. Let me give an example. Suppose we have a system which discriminates on the basis of birth, of ethnicity. It has come about because of economic reasons, social reasons, but that's not the best thing. And now, how to overcome it? Jesus tells us we are one big family, brothers and sisters in one. And so how to be able to overcome this threat we feel with people of another group, of a different culture. We are comfortable with our own people, but to be able to open ourselves to others, to be able to serve everybody without difficulty, that takes an effort, that takes encouragement, that needs assistance, needs guidance also, and because it's a natural phenomenon. Now, that has got to be purified, culture's got to be purified to be able to rise above all the difficulties that we've acquired of this. I think this happens, all cultures have acquired different things, which is little of a gloss, over the years, and it's natural. And now, every now and then, like in every institution, every organization, you have a review, you have a sort of a mid-course correction to see. That's what you've got to do with culture also. And we are fortunate we have the gospel as the absolute litmus test, acid test against which we can check all cultures and be able to enrich the culture. So I think this is a necessity, but it's natural and it's not impossible. It needs courage, it needs assistance, outside assistance also, to understand how to deal with this. But this is a problem, this certainly is. To the youth, I would say, Jesus has the answer to every problem. Now, you have a problem, go to Jesus. That's my message to the youth. He's got to be your everything. And he won't come to you like magic, but you surrender, as you said. You surrender to him, come to him, and tell him, Lord, you know best. You're my master. You lead me where you want to. And he will take us along the right path. I mean, I've seen that again in my own life so very often. I specialize in canon law, church law. And I remember when my own Cardinal at that time told me to study canon law, I was not very enthusiastic. I did what he wanted me because he said, okay, my bishop. And today, I mean, I can see how many thousands of people I have helped because I studied the subject. Right now, I'm helping even the Holy Father. Very recently, about a month back, the Holy Father appointed me now as an advocate of the Rota to be able to help him even more. I see that a strange way. It was something which I didn't want, something which I was not interested in. I just obeyed, and there it is. It's been today, looking back, that was certainly the best choice I made. I mean, I've seen that so very often. Surrender to the Lord, do what the Lord leads you, and He'll guide you to be able to live a happy, full, satisfied life of service. I know there's a certain frenzy, and life is so fast. I noticed that I come from the city of Mumbai, which is a very, very fast pace of life, has a very fast pace of life. Now, you've got to start having priorities. Priorities. Is your family important? Is the community important? Is God important? Is meaning in life important? Is direction in life important? Now, we've got to pause to reflect. I think that's so important. And now I see the wisdom of keep holy the Sabbath. Don't work all the Sabbaths. I mean, I see that it's important you have a break every now and then for the family, for God. And then God leads you to strengthen your family life, your relations, and to put meaning into your life. Now, I can see that this is because of, pardon me saying it, because of the media very often, has created a certain, to get things, consumerism, get more and more, materialism, and things of this sort which Pope Benedict very often spoke of, hedonism, relativism. So therefore you sort of, it creates a certain unreal world where just getting things is important. And suddenly you realize, now what have I got by getting all these things? What do I do with all these things? What do I do with all the material things? That the relationships are more important. Love is more important. Peace is more important, that inner peace, that joy. Everything else should help us to get that inner joy, inner peace, inner happiness, a meaningful life, a direction in life, being able to serve others. That brings happiness, joy. And that's the purpose why God has made us. God has made each one of us, I'm convinced, to be happy. Now, live lives of service. Reach out to the periphery. That really gives meaning to life. It gives meaning to our Christian existence. And forget yourself. Think of others. The whole attitude in the world, which is running so fast, is think of yourself. At some time it was think of your family. Now it's not even the family, it's yourself. The individual is more important than the family. And it's leading to a certain emptiness, a certain lack of meaning at the authenticity, effectiveness at the very end of life. That's why I think Pope Francis is doing making a tremendous effort to get people to focus on the family, on others. Don't be self-centered, auto-centric. Even the church should not be self-referential. Think of others. He's been saying that so very often, to change our focus. Now, this is, I think, what is a certain worldwide phenomenon, that you think of yourself, the individual, that's more important, and profit is absolutely the ultimate motive, the ultimate good. But at the end of it all, you realize, no, that's what the gospel is that's totally against the gospel. And the thing to come back to the gospel. And I would tell people, therefore, have your priorities. Are you happy? Are you peaceful? Are you joyful? Have you been able to give joy to others, spread joy in your home? When you go home in the evening after work, is it a joyful place? Are you welcome? Are you looking forward to go out? Are they looking forward? All that you've got to build. Can't come by itself. Actually, that's very interesting. Of course, I joined at a very young age. I mean, I already had gone to college. When I was in college, but I had not just began college, and I was toying with the idea of course, I had a lot of priestly influence in my family. My father's brothers are priests. My mother's uncle is a priest. So priests, because of that, they were in and out of the house. Then, because of their presence, the priests of the parish would come in and out also to meet them. So I saw lots of priests around the whole time. So that made it. Then I was, of course, in church. The church was the center of all activity, social activity, everything. And it meant everything. And I wanted to be like that, also a person who served. And then gradually, when I went to the seminary, I thought of becoming a doctor or an engineer, a scientist, things of all that came up because and then I went to Jesuit college. And then I think they also influenced me. I told them, they said, no, if you really feel that you should become a priest, then forget everything else. And then, like I must say, at one moment it was like a blind trust in God. I mean, I said, I really do not know what I'm doing. There's so much I could do. I could serve people other ways also. But okay, I'm going to go to seminary. And then I never looked back. I never looked back. And I've been so happy continuously in just spending of yourself for others. That's would be my motto. I come from a parish in Mumbai. My home parish was Mahim, where we have devotion to Our Lady Perpetual Succor. And every Wednesday, about 100,000 people come, 90,000 people come, out of which over 50%, 60% or so are non-Catholics who come to play. And the novenas from 7:30 in the morning right till 9:30 in the night, every hour, and just packed. And that, I think, influenced me a lot, because already as a schoolboy, we would all go to the novena. Now it's too big a crowd, and so that the school is closed on that day. But I used to go there, and then so I had a very special devotion to Our Lady. And even now, as a priest, as a bishop, as a cardinal, when I've got important decisions to take, I often go there quietly to the church, that same church, and kneel there behind. And tell the priest, I tell the priest I'm coming to visit them, but really it's because I want to go and pray there. So I go and quietly kneel there behind, pray, and then I go and visit the priest. And whenever I have to, and I've never really, again, taken all my decisions really in prayer, and always praying to Our Lady to be there, to intercede for me, to be my guide. I felt it a very strong influence. At home too, we prayed the rosary, the family prayed the rosary very often. That's why in my emblem of coat of arms, I put a big M over there, indicating my devotion to Mary. And she's been a very big influence in my life, sure. Even today, every day, whenever sort of Mother Mary, helped me at this moment, and it's worked, it's worked. You know, that is, for me, honestly, is a big question. We've got the small Christian communities, the zones, and I don't know how to balance. I've been reflecting on this a lot. Now, the church is ceasing to be the center and the focus of the activities of many youth. One reason is also because youth are so busy, tuitions around the city, traveling and trying to, again, better yourself academically. Everything else is taken second place. I think we've lost a great amount in that. And I'm honestly, I'm struggling to see how to find a solution. I can understand, I'm nostalgic about those old days, but I think they'll never come again, where the church is completely the center of everything. I think the world has changed. And that meant my joy was going over there and meeting my friends, and then we would have a church service or a rosary or a novena, and that was everything. And so the day was full. And now that's not part of the program. And I feel so sorry for the youth when I see how much I had which they are missing. Now, how to make it possible? I can see that they're so busy. But maybe we'll have to, I've been discussing it with my auxiliary bishops, with the priests, of what we could do in these circumstances. Perhaps strengthen the small Christian communities, strengthen the neighborhood groups, make these focal points of ecclesial events, and every now and then come to the church. The church building also has got a certain meaning. The church atmosphere has got a very important element, which I think we are losing it. I want to get it back. And I feel that many of the older generation are feeling the same, but they don't know what to do about it. And perhaps I can do something about it, and by giving a direction. And I want to reflect on this, really. This is a big challenge for me, for the people of Mumbai, the Archdiocese of Bombay, to see how we could get the church once again in the focus. But I have no exact answer. I want to say I've got no answer. But it's something, an ideal, which I'd like to push. Maybe sometimes holiday time and some activities every now and then sporadic, where we are able to get the youth and the people and the parents. Christmas time, Christmas week, I remember, was everything, every day was something happening. But now everybody's busy. You know, I travel a bit, and I see it's different in different places. I can see now a research, generally, maybe I would say, there's a resurgence in the wanting of the faith. I would say about 10 years ago, I noticed, I felt at least, it was going down. There seemed to be an atmosphere where people are beginning to say the church is irrelevant. Teachings, there's no point in going to Sunday to church. What's the purpose of the faith? Somehow that's past. I think today people are coming back. I go every now and then to United States, to Washington, and I preach in the cathedral. The cathedral is full over there. I mean, it's a joy to preach, and then you meet the people afterwards. I've seen this also in a few other parts. I've not seen a satisfactory turnaround in Europe, certain parts of Europe. Certain parts of Germany, I've seen, yes, it's sort of coming back, but it's in pockets. But I was surprised that in the States, it seems to be certain parts I've visited, there's a resurgence. Canada, I went, and then again there's a resurgence, it's coming up. But Europe is not yet over the hump. Maybe Europe is where the States was about 10 years back. Perhaps that's the situation. Maybe it'll change. I expect it will change. Now, in India, for example, fortunately now, in the Archdiocese of Bombay, I would think that I would get about 85% of the people coming for Sunday Mass every Sunday. And so that's really good. But we can't be complacent and say this will carry on. We've got to make our liturgies more meaningful. We've got to prepare our homilies better. We've got to make sure that we visit the people. There's so many pastoral activities have got to be rebooked. So I think that we've got to also start, we can't change our ways to adapt to the modern needs. It's noticeable over here, everybody, all the youth have got mobiles, they're texting and that's their life. I mean, now that can't be reversed. The social communications media is so very important for them. Now, how to use social media for evangelization, to give gospel messages, to make sure it's used. It's an instrument which God has given, a gift God has given us, which man has developed. The media, social media now has become so prevalent, the most important means of communication. Now, how can it be used for the good? It can be used also to harm people. It can be used to help. And maybe the church, therefore, has got to play an active role in trying to see how all these means can be used for good, for evangelization, for the gospel, to make people more Jesus people, as we say over here in this Asian Youth Day, to help them to become people who are Jesus people, who meet Jesus, experience the joy of meeting Jesus, and are able to share this joy with others. Now, I think that can be done, and so the media and the church has got to reinvent herself, reposition herself, learn our priests in our seminaries. We've got to train them about the modern challenges. So they see what are the modern challenges and how they are able to face these modern challenges. We've got to train our priests, our seminarians for the world of 2020 and 2025. We can't foresee what will happen then, but we've got to start equipping them to be able to face new challenges. That's important, very, very important. The media really is so important today. I don't know what will happen 10 years from now, but right now the media is the most important means to to bring the gospel, to influence the mind of people. Now, I think it is an opinion maker. I know the media. It wins elections, can lose elections. Obama, that was his means of connecting with people, and he was elected president. I think Modi also, our Prime Minister in India, was very media savvy. His team was media savvy. He was able to connect with people and therefore be able to get votes. So that's happening in the political field. A new phenomenon which is arising, and Trump has made it famous by speaking of fake news. At the beginning, I want to say that I thought that he was inventing or just speaking because he was upset about something. I began to realize there is really fake news going around. There are people who are giving fake news, who are giving distorted version of reality and presenting it as truth. And what Hitler did that time, you repeat a thing over and over again, Goebbels said, no? And people believe. Now that's coming on in a different form now. fake news. Now the media can, therefore, being authentic, giving the truth, absolute truth, searching fearlessly for what is good, what is right, in giving right values to people, gospel values, service, justice, truth, honesty, thinking of the other, selflessness. Now, I think the media can give lots of values today. It's so powerful. It can make society or break society, as it can make governments, break governments. It can also do the same to society. Therefore, I can see the Christian media is so very important. In my own archdiocese, I've started a communication center, and I've given 2 priests full time for that. I'm training one more in Rome now. So I see the tremendous importance of the media today, and therefore we have got to invest. I am trying to do that in Mumbai, in the Archdiocese of Bombay, but I think that we must do that because I feel the media can be the most effective means of evangelization, the new evangelization, and continuously facing new challenges, presenting the gospel afresh, new, giving success stories, giving joy stories, peace stories, transforming society. I think the media can transform society.
I'm very happy to present my greetings to Shalom Ministry and all the good work that you do around the world in fulfilling the dream of the Holy Father that all should hear the love of God. Thank you for your good work and those who support you. May these special days of new evangelization bless your operators, your administrators, and your benefactors. God bless you.
Shalom World, God's own channel.